A very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight, this Monday, the 22nd day of July 2024. On sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, and we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has sworn in Edward Akol as the new Auditor General in a ceremony that took place at State House in Entebbe. The oath was administered by the head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe Mbonye. Speaking shortly after the swearing-in ceremony, President Yoweri Museveni congratulated Mr. Akol before calling on him to smell for the country if he is to deal with corruption in the country. The President cautioned the new Auditor General about corrupt auditors, saying that he should not depend solely on written evidence, but rather use the public to gather information about corruption.
To assume the duties of this office. Can you sign from there and bring the...
I, Edward Akol, having been appointed Auditor General, swear in the name of the Almighty God, solemnly affirm that I will at all times well and truly exercise the functions of the Auditor General in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Uganda. And I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Uganda without fear or favor, affection or will, and that I will not directly or indirectly reveal to any unauthorized person any matter that comes to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy. So help me God.
I congratulate your parents, who looked after you and your family. Which means a dog, if it can no longer smell, then it will die. So, Akol's job is to smell for the Uganda, to smell the thieves. And your department has got quite a bit of corruption now, because there is a case which is going on. I've been hearing that they don't do. I saw a write-up by, I think it was ISO. I sent it to, I don't know, to Isoke, about auditors who go and they are given money and they just write false reports. But it's easy, because it is easier to detect on your side when you are doing the work. Don't just depend on the written, what they have written. Send people to the field to find out how are my people doing things, because the public knows. Rely on the written records, but also on field check.
That was President Yoweri Museveni, of course, giving some good advice there to the new Auditor General as far as his work is concerned. Now, there was heavy deployment of security agencies in Kampala this Monday ahead of the much anticipated protest by a group of unknown youth dubbed Walk to Parliament, organized to protest rampant cases of corruption by government officials. Police spokesperson Rusoke Kituma says the deployment is a preventive measure, as we hear in this story.
international standards.
Security agencies, including police and the army, were heavily deployed on the streets of Kampala early this morning. Government installations such as the parliament, ministries and agencies such as the national broadcaster UBC and roundabouts saw the heaviest deployments. According to police spokesperson Rusoko Chituma, the deployment is to prevent any chaos ahead of the planned Tuesday protest by a group of unknown youth.
We certainly have to heighten measures. We have to take concerns of the rights of others. And we are saying, the longer you fail to recognize the rights of others, the longer it will take you to enjoy your own. You really need to balance the equation. You need to understand that you do not have absolute rights. You need to factor in other people. You need to factor in other interests.
The youth are threatening to walk to parliament over what they term as rampant corruption by top government officials.
Following a thorough security assessment regarding the feasibility of a political procession, we advised the organizers and urged them to heed to our counsel. We believe we can use better methods and better approaches than marching to parliament with unregulated numbers.
It is not clear who is behind the Tuesday protests and whether it will go ahead as planned. In his recent address to the nation, President Museveni urged the planners of the march to parliament to seek clearance from the security organs, or they will face the long arm of the law. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Now, Uganda police will not condone any protests in Kampala's central business district, and that is a warning from the Assistant Commissioner of Police, who is also the police spokesperson, Rusoke Kituma. Now, Kituma says all police sector commanders have received special instructions to prevent the alleged March to Parliament protest slated for Tuesday, the 23rd day of July 2024.
On July 18, 2024, the police authorities met with the purported organizers of the protest against corruption by various government officials, particularly parliamentarians.
We advised the organizers and urged them to heed to our counsel. We believe we can use better methods and better approaches than marching to parliament with unregulated numbers. As Uganda Police Force, we reiterate our position that we shall not tolerate disorderly conduct.
All police territorial commanders have been instructed to enhance their operations in response to the planned unlawful demonstration known as the March to Parliament. Field Force Unit detachments have been directed to prepare a quick response force.
And we are saying that our disagreement with these groups are essentially on methodological issues, not the principle and the rights. Because we understand those rights, we know them, we cherish them, but we have failed to have a common ground under which those rights can easily be exercised.
Intersecurity agencies have reaffirmed their commitment to preventing any unlawful assemblies that are aimed at disrupting the rights of others.
The exercise of your right to assembly does not take away our responsibilities. It does not put our responsibility as police in abeyance. Not at all. It calls us upon to regulate you. When we find you in a situation, in a framework of planning, which is going to antagonize peace, we nip you in the bud.
In response to the accusations of selective application to public assembly regulations, the police defend their actions, stating that they are always collaborating with organized groups.
We shall, at all times, whenever any group of people rise to the occasion to exercise their rights. We shall meet, we shall discuss modalities, we shall share our positions. It is unfortunate that on most occasions we find ourselves in a stalemate. But that would be the wish of the Uganda police and the rest of the security forces.
Despite the police meeting with the purported organizers of the March to Parliament demonstration, no mutual agreement was reportedly reached regarding the fate of the procession. Patricia Nandago and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now, police and army cordoned off the National Unity Platform in NOP headquarters in Pharmacovigilance and arrested some National Unity Platform members, including Zake Francis. The party president, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, condemned the act while speaking to reporters after the cancellation of the press conference at the party headquarters.
The National Unity Platform headquarters at Pharmacovigilance was surrounded by police and army forces, creating a tense atmosphere. Several NOP members, including MP Honorable Zake Francis, were arrested due to an altercation with the police.
Wait! Watch out! You open! Open! You jump there! Open! You jump there! Everything like machines. Human behave. In office by 10, it's getting to 10. The office is closed.
The police cancelled the planned press conference at the NOP headquarters, citing a security threat.
Whenever we feel they have no infringement on the bigger security of the country, we are ready to facilitate them.
Robert Kyagulanyi, the party president, condemned the police action in a subsequent press conference held at his home in Magere.
We condemn the illegal besieging of our headquarters. We condemn the illegal arrests that have gone on. You are aware that some of our leaders, including Honorable Zake, are still under arrest, unjustifiably so. You saw the harassment that our deputy president faced.
He was unhappy with government's failure to grant permission to use the Kololo Independence grounds for their anniversary celebrations.
We shall insist, we shall have to have a huge event to celebrate 4 years of the National Unity Platform.
The police spokesperson, Rusoke Chituma, cited that the police believed NOP was planning an unlawful demonstration and intended to use the gathering for mobilization for the anti-corruption protests.
Nobody would wish to stampede a person who's raising a voice against corruption. But we have fundamental disagreements on how you can project your voices on this matter.
Dr. Lina Zedriga, the party's vice president, was also arrested but survived being whisked away to the central police station.
People power, our power, our power, people power. I have come to be in my office, okay? No, don't push her. Stand up and yeah, will you need? Okay, stand up and because if I stand up, they will fight. And you have seen how we have fought. Thank you so much for being there, Mr. President. I believe now we need to see where we can meet. And we need to see how we address this.
NOP members who arrived at the headquarters were denied entry and voiced concerns about their rights being violated.
The press conference was meant to begin at 9. They have covered the whole place. The whole office is covered by police. Since when did they begin to be askaris to that place?
Reached here, the army, the police have taken over everything. We cannot enter.
We no wonder why have they come here? Who has sent them? What have they come to do? And where are they going?
The heavy presence of police and army heightened the tensions and restricted movement around the NOP headquarters. Komagum Rogers and Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
Now, aside from politics, the Inter-Religious Council of Uganda is calling upon young people to adopt peaceful and constructive dialogue as a means to air their grievances. Religious leaders are advocating for a more holistic approach to address the issues affecting society.
As the clock ticks down to the much-anticipated March to Parliament protest by youth over corruption, the Inter-Religious Council of Uganda has spoken out about the matter.
Our pastoral letters, we have sought to guide the nation on a number of issues such as good governance, prevention of gender-based violence, promoting social accountability through the fight against corruption, etc. This should be done within the spirit of our national motto, for God and my country. That is, being guided by the values of justice and shared well-being, and devoid of political party, ethnic, religious interests and elements of foreign interests.
Religious leaders believe in the need to build consensus and create dialogue spaces for young people to express their grievances.
We were delighted when the younger people wrote to us and sought an audience over their grievances. RSU believes in creating spaces for dialogue and building consensus. And this is a role we have done before and continue to play. We urge all those issues of concern. We urge all those with issues of concern, particularly the youth, to adapt peaceful and constructive dialogue.
They have called upon the government to listen to the issues being raised by the young people and their constituencies. Marion Awori for UBC.
Now, in a related development, members of parliament have urged government to not stop the demonstration against corruption planned by the youth. The protest is scheduled for Tuesday, the 23rd of July. The legislators want security to guide and help the youth succeed with their peaceful protest. A section of members of parliament told UBC that the heavy deployment of police and military is what may turn the peaceful demonstration into a riot.
Youth have planned a march to Parliament on Tuesday, July 23rd to petition the Speaker, Anita Mong, against corruption in the country. Police warns the youth not to attempt to demonstrate because their intentions are not clear. However, under the Constitution of Uganda, people have a right to peaceful demonstration. President Museveni, in his address to the nation, cautioned the youth against involving in demonstrations that may lead to disruption of business. Now, some members of parliament view the argument differently.
Liberty and freedom, they can also simply degenerate into a riot which will infringe on the rights of other citizens. The president was categorically right when he spoke about this.
Right to stop them. They should have given them their one day to come in and actually do what they have to do, and I'm sure it would have been a very peaceful one. But because if we do not listen to them or give them that space to show or to intervene, show their anger, then they'll take it to the ballot papers in 2026, and there nobody can stop them.
Let them come. If they want to meet the speaker, let them come, they meet the speaker, they interact with the speaker, they tell the speaker what they want to say, and they go back. But stopping them and maybe tear gassing them, revenging on them very heavily, is not good for the country at all.
So there is no need to stop them. Instead, to guide them to have a very peaceful demonstration.
Protest is not necessarily a protest against Parliament, because corruption is not only in Parliament. So Parliament, I think, is just to spark off protests, eventually to deal with the real problem affecting Uganda.
Bobolo East County MP Mosila John says the youth have a right to demonstrate.
Situation I support. The issues they may have about corruption, all of us are out. Right? They could have a genuine reason or reasons, and they could have a genuine mind come out to demonstrate. Suppose the goons overtook them. Suppose the lumpens came up to destroy what we saw in Kenya, including even the Uganda House, by the way, getting destroyed.
While legislators Gilbert Olanya, MP Clark South, Betty Ochan and Isaac Otim, Paderi County, say police deployment is what may turn the peaceful protest into a riot.
This kind of demonstrations that turned into riot, they were all caused by the army officers, by the military. They're the one who comes, they start disorganizing people, and automatically people become annoyed, and they start throwing stones.
But if they are peaceful and these people with the guns should be for protection of lives, not for killing people.
Deployment and all this kind of thing is just going to exaggerate the march to turn it into something which was not the cause of it. And I don't think it was actually a political march.
MPs say if the demonstrators come with ill intentions to compare Ugandan parliament and Kenya parliament or even make it political, they do not support it.
So I pray that those demonstrators should not have that same mentality that they are coming to cause destruction onto the parliament of Uganda. And the moment they have that mentality of coming to destroy the parliament of Uganda, that is where they may get it very rough. And as members of parliament, we don't buy that idea.
Which happened in Kenya is totally different from the protest which was going to take place in Uganda. Actually, it's not a protest, it's a march. One is, the one in Kenya, for example, it was mainly due to the fact that the leaders did not listen to their people for the finance bill. But in Uganda, the march which was going to take place tomorrow is in line with actually the government program.
Parliament resumes business Tuesday from recess, and some MPs think the sittings might get disrupted by the march, while others say business might go on as usual.
But I want to advise Parliament again, a clarion call. We would avoid, and we can avoid, confrontations. Why can't we push the recess 1 week later until the situation cools down, until we hear from the youth?
No problem at all. Parliament can resume tomorrow normally because there's no problem at all and there's nothing to fear.
I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
To other news now, and the commander of the 5th Infantry Division, Brigadier General Keith Katunji, has urged cadres undergoing a week-long course in Agago district to change their mindset, stop laziness and embrace hard work. He says territories with high levels of illiteracy and poverty breed conflict, demonstrating the need for the population to utilize programs geared towards uplifting their livelihood.
The National Ideology Cadres course continues in Agago district with various facilitators interacting with the participants. The 5th Infantry Division Commander, Brigadier General Keith Katunji, presented a topic on the consolidation of peace and security for national development.
If there is anybody who wants security more, it's the one who has been at war. I can tell you today, Somalis, Yemen people, South Sudanese, most people who want peace are those ones who have suffered.
He revealed that Uganda, being a landlocked country, requires diplomatic relations with neighboring countries for strategic security operations.
But if you put some things that Kenya doesn't allow them because they have place, what if Tanzania refuses it? That means you must maintain very good diplomatic relations with your countries which are bordering this. Uganda has a very short strategic goal. Talk about border, we hear about border is very short. Now that causes you to have a very, very resource force. An agile UPDF which is razor sharp.
The development of infrastructure such as security access roads and sealing off borders remains essential for security operations to safeguard the citizens.
That cattle raids in the entire region, which last year, same month, May, were at 367 per month. This last month we ended with only 2 cows that we lost from all the 15 districts. So I think we are like at 98. But there are still issues which are still affecting us, like security roads, like water points where we want to put soldiers, and issues of network, and the government is handling them. So at least you can see that the leaders are a bit comfortable, and it is from that basis that now we have time to engage the leaders on socio-economic transformation.
At the moment, we are fairly okay. So I want to encourage our people of Agago district, of Acholi sub-region. So let us wake up and really try to support the government and do something for ourselves, rather than sitting every morning and playing cards.
Now, according to Brigadier General Keith Katunji, the key ingredients to conflict include poverty and illiteracy, things that government of Uganda needs to address in order to consolidate peace and security for national development. This can be done through increasing the number of skilling hubs to ensure that people living in the vulnerable territories of northern Uganda have a skill that can enable them be counterproductive.
In such an engagement, you are addressing those issues, thereby deconflicting the mind, and you are also addressing issues that cause people to be angry. A hungry man is an angry one. So if you are addressing food security, you are basically addressing ingredients of the war.
He informed the participants about their role in articulating issues for social economic transformation. Participants are confident that the knowledge attained from the engagement will be critical in transforming their communities.
To some extent, according to what I've learned, you see people are complaining of Balalo and the rest. Actually, these people are not bad to some extent, because they come, hire the land, they do productive work, and the community, they become like annoyed on that, looking on the productivity. Though I do request now, when I go back home to my community, I'll tell them, please take the footstep of these people who come in to our land and hire. They get a lot of production.
And I want also to encourage our colleagues. Let's support our children to school. General was telling us this, that if we don't support our children in school, there is nothing that we shall get in future.
Ivan Kahwa and Dennis Sigoa with that story there. Now, researchers from Makerere University have appealed to other researchers and academia to do research that reflects reality. Professor Eria Kisali of Environment for Development Initiative at Makerere University told the annual AGM in Hoima City that Uganda is striving to promote the use of clean energy. Let's get more in this story.
In urge to conduct relevant research topics that reflect circumstances and lived realities that affect communities, Professor Eria Kisali of Environment for Development Initiative at Makerere University emphasizes that all research must be reliable to provide ground reality.
And what we are telling our researchers that research and the modeling can only be correct to the extent that it reflects the realities as we all see them on the ground. This then will require that we do a lot more to conceptualize the research issues. And the good starting point is to understand the issues as they are.
This means decisions will be made based on evidence that reflect the conditions and needs of the population.
We want to encourage our researchers to do studies, not for the sake of publishing, but studies that can impact people's welfare. How can we promote clean cooking in homes? That even if you don't have electricity, how can you ensure that you have clean energy? We have a lot of waste. From this waste we can generate biogas. And this biogas can be used for lighting and cooking.
During the annual AGM meeting by the Environment for Development Initiative in Hoima District, scholars emphasized on climate change, possible mechanisms of implementing climate financing, and adopting to clean energy sources like liquefied petroleum gas.
It might be a household that is spending over $100, for example, in treating your children. Okay, but not knowing that actually this expense has come from the data energy that you are using at household level. But now when you think about it, you might spend less than $100 to be able to cook using gas or to be able to cook using electricity. Now the government of Uganda has put a subsidy on tariffs for those cooking using electricity. But many households are not aware.
Institutions of higher learning have embedded climate-related disciplines in relevant courses to equip students with knowledge and create awareness on dangers and possible solutions to climate change.
We are currently developing the Master of Science in Climate Change, Economics and Finance. Herein we are looking to build capacity in climate change modeling. So what am I talking about? We need them to build capacity among our learners to the extent that they can be in position to pick up the effects of climate change and have them within the macro modeling framework such that the fiscal policy positions you see start to reflect changes in climate.
Sada Mubale, UBC News.
It is 10:30 in the studios of UBC TV. Let's have our other break and then we'll be coming back with much more. Stay with us.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere weewaawo abafere gye bali naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable. Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome back from that break, and this is our second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 22nd day of July 2023. Now, French teachers across the African continent have converged at Makerere University Business School for the International Conference of French Teachers in Africa, aimed at sharing challenges and opportunities presented by French language. Researchers and translators were challenged to adopt to emerging technological trends to promote the academia. We have more in this story.
The International Conference of French Teachers in Africa Summit has attracted hundreds from different African countries, held at Makerere University Business School. During the summit, the head of International Organization of Francophone, René Yevota, challenged researchers to adopt the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and its role in promoting academia.
IA, it's like we need a human being, behind it. And we need to train our teachers and our students to know how to use it as an ally, and especially to use it as an assistant as well, because it can never, ever, replace our teachers. We need, to be humane and to bring the, humanity into the classroom. Otherwise, it won't work. The student won't, be able to learn a language. So I think it's an advantage, but we need really to be trained to it, and we need really to try to use it as an assistant instead of having this fear to say one day we're going to be replaced by artificial intelligence.
The theme, French language as an engine for sustainable development in the digital era, highlighted on the potential of the French language in fostering sustainable development within contemporary digital landscape.
Actually, people are using machine translation, people are using artificial intelligence. So we have, we have to see what could be the gain for the translator in the next coming years. People are afraid, saying that now artificial intelligence is taking their job, but the fact is that people have to adapt themselves on the technology as it's, moving on.
When you see the world where we are today, so many, with a lot of technological advancement, talk about AI, you see what is happening in the world. So as teachers of French, this is very important because it has an impact. Our practices, our class interventions, we can't be left behind when everyone is talking about the influence of in artificial intelligence in the learning and teaching of languages. That's very important for us.
Stakeholders also shared the importance of teaching and learning French, since French-speaking countries like Democratic Republic of Congo is a big trading market for East Africa.
Those teachers promote this language, and teachers prepare the young people for the future and for the employability of young people.
Now, English and Kiswahili will enable you to work nationally and regionally. But if you want to go beyond the borders of East Africa, if you want to go and work with the United Nations, if you want to go and work with the African Union or other international organizations that work beyond the East African borders, it is important to have French as a language.
This conference was last held in Dakar, Senegal in 2019 and aimed at showing different people from around the world the beauty that comes with the French language. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, Uganda is hosting the first conference in Africa of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance SOP. Now, the conference was opened by the Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth-Aceng, who encouraged everyone to be vigilant about drug reactions. The conference aims at discussing opportunities and key challenges for enhancing patient safety in Africa.
Globally, advanced drug reactions have been reported to be the fourth to sixth leading cause of death. In Uganda, up to 20% of hospital admissions are as a result of advanced drug reactions. Dr. David Nahamia, the Executive Director, National Drug Authority, says National Drug Authority, working in collaboration with ESOP Africa chapter, have prioritized strengthening of pharmacovigilance systems to minimize risks and maximize the benefits of various medicinal products used in Africa.
We gather to build upon this foundation, aiming to transform data into actionable insights that will promote patient safety. Medicine safety is not just a regional concern, but a global challenge.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Ruth-Aceng, on opening the ESOP Conference Africa chapter at Munyonyo, appreciated the stakeholders' efforts geared at strengthening pharmacovigilance systems.
We are going to continue monitoring adverse effects, track safety signals, and adjust our course as needed, because our people deserve nothing less than safe, effective medicines. No shortcuts, no compromises.
The conference has brought together regulators, researchers, representatives from industry and other stakeholders in pharmacovigilance across the African continent.
I feel that Africa is going well. Africa is trying to have best standards of medication safety. The regulatory agencies are working in that. We need to implement more decisions about the information that we have.
95% of our medicines are imported on the continent, 99% of our vaccines are imported. The trade in fake and substandard medication is about 42 billion, of which most of that, 70% of that, is traded in Africa. So we have a serious situation.
In other words, what we are trying to say, to encourage as the National Drug Authority is, and again, when you look at this conference here, we are saying every drug that anybody takes and it gives that person some side effects, they should be reported.
Medical safety is a global challenge, and adverse events from medicine use have been reported to be one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality.
That by the end of this meeting, the knowledge shared will give us a comprehensive roadmap for enhanced pharmacovigilance practices across Africa.
Jane Nguramcha, Annette Sana for UBC News.
To Bulisa now, where Bulisa District Woman Member of Parliament, Vijirwa Nora Nyendwoha, has donated a multi-purpose ward to Viso Health Centre 4 in Viso Town Council. Vijirwa says the construction of the facility was funded under Nora Nyendwoha Foundation to address the challenge of lack of space at the health facility.
Bulisa District Woman Member of Parliament Vijirwa Nora Nyendwoha wants government to equip Viso Health Centre 4 in order for the facility to serve the community effectively.
But this is standard one, but you can be able to even put more people in there. But because we wanted it to be more standard and more spacious, we decided to have it 28 beds. But if government deems it fit, they can come along and add extra beds in it.
Viso Town Council Councillor Aliganyira Nicholas and the in-charge Dr. Jonan Alinaitwe challenged government to address the gaps hindering better service delivery.
Having an influx of patients at Viso Health Centre 4, we pray for the government to also construct a mortuary, because this is now a health centre 4.
Which was a very big disturbance. It should be noted that this health centre 4 has just been upgraded to this health centre 4 status from health centre 3 status. So it was first upgraded theoretically, but the buildings on the ground had not yet been constructed.
While commissioning and receiving the facility on the behalf of government, the State Minister for Works and Transport Fred Byamukama commended the MP for the donation of the facility, adding that her effort is contributing to government effort to offer better health services.
Previously this has been a health centre 3, and now they've upgraded it to the health centre 4. Government is looking for funds and making the necessary plans to bring the structures which will fit with the way they upgraded it. But meanwhile, as we wait for government, I know funds, they are looking for the funds. She has added a milestone, and you can really see the people are very happy. What does this one, which indication does it give to the local people? That we need to embark on coming to hospitals. We live alone using herbs, using witch doctors.
Residents from Bulisa District appreciated the Member of Parliament for the gesture.
Saddam Mubale with that story there. Now, His Majesty Omkama of Toro, Oyonyimba Kabamba Iguru IV, has challenged school proprietors to prioritize skills and practical training of students as guided by the new curriculum. Omkama Oyo was presiding over the official opening of Crane High School in Entebbe. Take a watch.
Omukama of Toro, Oyonyimba Kabamba Iguru the fourth was welcomed by the school management led by Perunji Peter. He was led to a guided tour at the school where he visited a number of projects including poultry farms, agricultural gardens, agricultural farming, among others. Later, he officially opened the school and lauded the management for prioritizing practical and skills training of the students.
Most of the youth today are challenged with inadequate practical skills and ICT knowledge, which limits them to showcase their innovative abilities. It should be also noted that the digital space in Uganda is steadily growing, and this was quickly adapted during the pandemic. I take this opportunity to thank your visionary director, Mr. Peter Virungi, together with his entire teaching and non-teaching staff for the great job done.
Oyo also noted that most of the youth are challenged with inadequate practical skills and ICT knowledge, which limits their innovative abilities.
This partnership has been manifested through the scholarships offered to students from Toro Kingdom. We thank you so much for that very nice school. I also want to thank the management for providing critical employment to both teaching and non-teaching staff at Grade High School.
Toro Kingdom, we launched the 25 years development agenda in 2021, where we have emphasized and we have surely put in a lot of emphasis, especially on training and skilling young people.
The school head teacher, Chalimpa Joab, says the school offers a holistic education that imparts essential skills to students.
We aim to offer more scholarships to deserving students
increase our staff and student population and establish another branch.
Especially for empowering our students. I always tell him that this school is 2-in-1. You pay school fees for simply the normal academics, but you end up with vocational skills.
The school boasts of an enrollment of 956 students. Sula Kagugube compiled this report for UBC News.
We'll take yet another short break and return with the latest in business. Welcome back. Let's have a look at business news. Now, women in Katikara, Kakumiro district have been urged to embrace government programs to boost household incomes and specifically adopt commercial farming to enhance economic empowerment. Now, this was at the celebrations of Mary Magdalene's Day, where Harriet Tibuli Sali, the senior mobilizer for the National Resistance Movement Party in Bunyoro, Kitara, emphasized that women's economic empowerment is crucial for economic development.
According to Harriet Tiburi Sali, by embracing government programs and engaging in commercial farming, women can significantly improve on their household's income and contribute to the economic growth of communities.
You know, when there is money in our home, there is always peace. And when we have peace, it means we have development. There is development. So, it is my humble appeal to all women to emphasize much, to put all their energy to emulate what His Excellency is advising us, is encouraging us to do.
She advised mothers to emulate the virtues of Mary Magdalene, particularly tolerance and love within their families, to build strong family units.
Treasure her as our example. We emulate her. All that she went through should always be the same way we should also carry on, especially when we are in our families and in our communities as well. As families, I encourage our women to always be simple and keen to their families, to their husbands, to their children and their relatives, so that they can be able to raise harmonious children, they can be able to develop our communities, and they can be able to work together as families and communities.
Harriet encourages women to take advantage of initiatives such as a Myoga and Parish Development Model to boost their incomes.
So this is where I stand to say that each and every person should involve in these programs in order to eradicate poverty at our household levels. We have PDM, people have joined the PDM, very many people have benefited out of PDM. There is Myoga, you be there, there is youth livelihood, be there, and all that, so that we have a developed community.
Her call serves as a reminder of the crucial role women play in driving economic progress and fostering a more equitable society.
Now, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has launched a transformative initiative to empower women in Butambala and neighbouring districts. Now, this is through the GROW project that aims at supporting women in business to create employment opportunities.
Generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises, GROW project is a Government of Uganda initiative aimed at empowering women businesses, sustain their self-employment and create more jobs. The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has extended this project to Butambala and the neighboring districts.
Now, what we have decided to do in GROW is to understand the multiple challenges that women have so that we respond on multiple fronts. Some women, to grow their business, need education and knowledge and skilling. We have done that in GROW. Others want loans, but at affordable rates.
A sum of up to 2 million Ugandan shillings can be borrowed by women in business, says Frederick Nabimba from the Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
We are ranging from 4 million up to 200 million. And this is based on the different selection criteria, based on your annual turnover, whether this woman is really able to pay back.
The launch of this project in Butambala was crossed over by Aisha Kabanda, the Butambala District Woman Member of Parliament.
To be effective, we need to go back and organize women into circles so that they can offer guarantee for each other. Government doesn't have to leave the issue of marketing to the people. Don't say come and pick money and then go do marketing. No, people have to be helped because marketing is a science. It's a real science that has to be understood.
The Deputy RDC Butambala Katunja Kavuma underscored the need for stringent monitoring methods to curb corruption and ensure the project achieves its goals.
The criteria we are going to do this time, we have to emphasize sensitization among the people who are going to borrow this money. And we shall also make sure that the people who will be coming to carry out the assessment to see whether the person is eligible to get the money.
GROW project is a government project funded by the World Bank through the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Sports news now, and Bulemezi Football Club chief supporter Frank Mutalaga has appealed to all Bulemezi FC fans not to lose hope in their team because the defending champions can still qualify from the preliminary stage. Mr. Mutalaga, who is also one of the main financiers of the team, made this appeal to fans soon after the 0-2 defeat by Chadondo FC in the Buganda Masaza Football Tournament 2024.
Frank Mutagala calls upon all Bulimazi FC supporters to turn up in large numbers this coming weekend and travel with their team for the away match in Masaka against Budu, which the team can win with ample preparations coupled with belief. Bulemenzi FC chairman Waswazoli Talula reveals that the 18 remaining points to play for mean the defending champions can still qualify if they work on their goal-scoring problems. Chadondo FC head coach Nyanzi Medi could not hide his joy at beating Bulimanzi FC, which beat him last season en route to winning last year's trophy. Majority crestfallen Bulimanzi FC supporters cannot believe that their team, beaten at home for the second time this campaign, is now at the bottom in the 6-team Bulange group comprising of Buruli, Budu, Butambala and Bugerere football teams.
Still with football, and a Centenary Bank have been crowned champions of the 8th edition of the Rotary 5A Side Football Tournament corporate category after edging Leseho Microfinance 2-1 in a thrilling final at the KCCA Philip Omondi Stadium. In the Rotary category, it was Rotary Club of Nakasero Central that claimed the winner's trophy after beating Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Island 2-0 in the final. A Rotaract Club of Kololo beat a Rotaract Club of Weyogerere Nambole 4-0 to win the Rotaract category. A total of 96 teams were drawn to play in the annual 1D tournament that is organized by the Rotary Club of Chiwatule to raise funds for Rotary community service projects. The joy of claiming a trophy. And that story brings us to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 22nd day of July 2024 here at UBC TV. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Semyonyo Yusuf and I'm Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Radio 7 masindinga bulijjo egenda kujjanganya emyaka 3 mu nsike nga 3.8 mu kisaawe ky'emasindi anti Lwata Mabaale Lwata Mabaale Sobodonkole nga bulijjo nga bw'okimanyi ebyokulya n'ebyokunywa byonna bya bwerere anti ate kuleetedde abayimbi ab'amaanyi Eddie Kenzo ne Big Talent yonna lukoba ku lukoba wakati n'abayimbi b'emunyolo bonna tutandika ku makya tukigalewo ku makya g'enkeera okuyingira mu twalo gumu gwokka jangu onyenyegali b'enjole mu Lwata Mabaale anti nga Radio 7 ejjaganya emyaka 3 mu kisaawe Masindi nga 3.8 tusookawo n'ebyemizannyo omuli omupiira okubaka okudduka nga biwagiddwa Sugar Limited chairman kombucha drinki Balam Sounds by Two Group
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Living a safe life is your right and responsibility in our communities.
They should have an eye checkup once a year.
First activity that we conduct is getting these young girls or women from the danger that they are facing and bringing them into this home.
Most people, the skin doesn't go off. It stopped renewing itself about 5 years ago. We make sure we follow the skin cycle.
Join me, Ishime Kathy, every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. as we discuss matters of safety in our lives on the program Safe Life.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting,
sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Loreen Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist, that even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired, amazed, and part of the journey that powers Uganda's most captivating TV and radio moments.
Because good broadcast comes down to an individual. They should be artistic.
This is Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting with Mark Wadula.
Coming soon on UBC.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss a critical topic that could potentially save lives: the top 10 signs of a heart attack. It's crucial to be aware of these warning signals and act promptly. Before we start, please remember that this information is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you suspect a heart attack, seek emergency medical attention immediately. Number 1. Chest pain or discomfort. The most common symptom of a heart attack is chest pain or discomfort. It may feel like squeezing, fullness, pressure, or pain in the center of the chest. This sensation can last for more than a few minutes or may come and go. Number 2. Shortness of breath. Shortness of breath is another significant sign. If you're having difficulty breathing or experiencing sudden and unexplained shortness of breath, it could be a warning signal. Number 3. Upper body discomfort. Pain or discomfort in the arms, neck, jaw, back, or stomach can also be indicative of a heart attack. Pay attention to any unusual discomfort in these areas. Number 4. Nausea or vomiting. Some people may experience nausea or vomiting during a heart attack. If you're feeling sick to your stomach without an apparent cause, consider